Alright, this video doesn't really have any real purpose besides documentation. I made a few changes before I'm going to go track this thing again in less than a week, so I figured I would just make a video about doing it. I mean, there was some stuff I did. I normally never post about this car, but some stuff does happen here and there, so I figured why not post it. Brakes are still great. Car's on fresh tires. It's on Nanking CRSs in a 275/35. I've always wanted to try these. They've just always been out of stock every time I tried to get them. I was finally able to score a set. I do really like the way they look. Not that that really is why you buy a good set of tires, but it is definitely an added plus. I have high hopes for them. Hopefully they'll last a good while. They do run really wide, so they look like steamrollers on the wheels, which is cool. The rear quarter on this side kind of rubs a little bit, but it's the kind of rub to where it'll self-clearance and it just barely grazes it. Only sometimes. It's only like at a certain point of the compression stroke. If it's a little too high up, it'll just tuck in barely, but like just on that transitional period from ride height to full compression, it'll rub just a tad. I also have the Nismo S-Tune exhaust back on the thing. I had the ISR on for the button wheel today because it's lighter than the setup. This is about 17 pounds heavier than the Nismo, or than the ISR blast pipes. But the ISR blast pipes are just way too loud. And honestly, it was just too much for me, especially coming back on the way home. I don't desire that on the way home. I think this honestly sounds better. It's also much quieter. It looks because the muffler hangs below the bumper, but the tip's poking out, the double tip. It does look good. It's how these cars were designed to be, so it kind of is what it is. Beyond that, we have brake ducts on the car now. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see them behind these wheels, but they are there. They're actually Porsche Cup, I think they're GT4 like Cayman brake ducts. They were just modified. Someone sold them for these things. I bought them like 3 years ago. Never actually ran them on track, and I've never even ran them with 10.5 wide wheels. So I did some trimming, got them to fit up all nice. Now they actually work. I am excited to see how those are going to do on this brake setup. The Chuckwalla day is going to be pretty hot, and it is a faster track, so we're going to see how it kind of holds up. It's going to be interesting to see if they work, if they do at all. I have high hopes for them though. It's also running a thinner oil. I mixed some 1030 and 2050. Before, this car was on straight 2050. Now it's probably like a 1540-ish. I'm thinking the thinner the oil, it's only slightly thinner. So it being thinner will allow it to flow better, maybe allowing it to cool better. So that's kind of an experimental thing. We're going to see how that goes. It's got fresh MT90 in the transmission. I've also got a tow hook on it now because I got a new crash support after Button Willow, and this is the tow hook I have. It's unfortunate how it doesn't sit flat. Kind of bothers me, but it is a tow hook. It is needed, and now it is there. Besides that, I want to say that's all I did. Changed front alignment a little bit too. It's got zero toe, messed with the caster and camber bit. I took just a little bit of camber out, making some custom shims. Should be set up well, and gonna go rip this thing in less than a week. So I'm really excited, and that's pretty much all this video is an update. There's one more thing I somehow keep forgetting. It's actually in the rear of this car. I wanted to maximize the grip on the rear tires at all times, even though it has a good balance front to rear, sway bar and spring-wise. It had a 6K rear spring with a Hotchkiss sway bar in the rear before on its softest setting. The issue with the Hotchkiss sway bar is even on its softest setting, it's still far stiffer than an actual stock bar or any other bar. So I actually went back to a stock sway bar, but I did drill new holes in it. So I'll actually put a picture in now. I was able to move the mount point farther in, which should make the sway bar a little bit stiffer, so it's not quite a stock bar, but it's more of a middle ground than jumping from a stock bar to a Hotchkiss to a modified stock bar. And it's also on 7K rear springs now. So I went up in spring rate, but down in sway bar. So hopefully when the car's going through a corner, it can articulate better and keep both wheels on the ground more planted. So hopefully I don't have ABS problems again, because I think that's what contributed to it. I think it was my driving style for sure, but I think it was also the fact that the rear wheels were lifting and allowing one wheel to slip or just have weird issues like that. So we're going to see how it goes. Chuckwalla is this track. So I haven't been here in 2 years, and when I went, I actually broke my wheel bearing in my third session, the only session I was actually able to get with like minimal traffic. So I put down a bad time for my standards, and I'm hoping to redeem myself and actually get this thing a good shot at success. It's on better tires now. It's obviously more set up now, and I've been progressing a lot as a driver within the last 2 years. Some fresh transmission fluid going in this thing. Kind of forgot last time I changed it, but it wasn't too long ago. But you can see here, well, hopefully you can see, pretty glittery. I mean, really, it's not too bad. Definitely has some sparkle in it though. So definitely not a bad idea to be doing it. It looks kind of insane now that I'm looking at it like this, actually. So we're gonna throw some fresh MT90 in there, and then we should be good to go. All right, just put about 3 quarts of fresh MT90 in the trans. Now we will plug up my conveniently drilled hole in the chassis so I don't have to sit there with a fluid pump the whole time. And we're good to go. I'm working on the car because it needs to be done within the next 2 weeks. So our caster is off. So I might even take out some more camera by making custom shims in there. But our main priority is going to be fixing the caster. All right, so the beauty of these SPL V3 upper arms, they're much older now, they're super outdated, but the beauty of them, like I was saying, is caster is adjusted through these threaded heims. You could do camber with that too, but when you have a lot of caster, adding camber with this or decreasing camber would push these out farther and give you less thread engagement. The nice thing is they use shims to adjust camber. So these are one of the reset shims that comes with them. It's about 3/8. They have a 3/16, 3/8, and 3/4 inch shim. So I've been running these shims forever, but because I want to decrease a little bit of camber, you're able to just make custom shims. So all I did was outline one of these out of some 1/16 inch thick aluminum material I had, and that gave me these. So these are pretty much the same thing as what comes with them. They're just much smaller, and these, just like the factory ones, will slot right into the control arm. And all you do is you tighten this down so it'll pull the slider in. You lock them down with these 2 bolts and you're good to go. So now I have very fine adjustment on here. I might cut out some 1/8 inch ones too, that way I have tons of little fine adjustment, but this should work fine. So once this camber's matched, it should be about 3.6, and then with those little shims, it might be 3.4 or 3.5. What you're looking at here is a Porsche brake duct, and I foolishly have owned these for like 2 or 3 years now, and I've never even tracked the car with them. I got them long before and just had issues with them hitting the ground and sort of getting in the way, and also this sway bar end link coming loose. I just took them off and never ran them again. These are a nice piece because they literally bolt to your factory sway bar location like that, and they shoot air directly into this open section of the rotor, so they actually should do it quite a bit, and I'm going to be able to monitor it with the rotor paint I've been using. So I'm just going to try them out. I mean, why not? I'm already here. And the SPL end links use a crimped lock nut, so it shouldn't actually come loose if I tighten them enough, which I will be able to tighten them enough. So we're going to throw those on. I've already changed the camber on this side. I'm going to change the toe a little bit to give it some toe in. You can see now with some toe plates, we are pretty much dead straight on our toe. No toe in, no toe out. Just exactly set at 0. Alright, so just to put this info in here, if you guys have been following with the last video, you'll know I got a new crash bar because the other one got damaged in the button willow accident. And this is my original toe hook. You can see the thread size is much different. So they actually changed these from 03 to 04. 05 plus have a different toe hook thread, which is this larger one. What's odd is these are essentially identical except for the thread length. So I wonder why they changed it. Maybe they were having issues with these bending or breaking, so they went up to these newer ones. I got lucky and found this at a junkyard. It's literally never been used. It's a brand new one. It was in the back of a Murano. I found a few in like FX35s and stuff, but those have an even bigger thread than this, and I don't know, it was really weird. They're like slightly bigger, but just too big to actually work. This one does work fine, so now I have a functional toe hook for this thing, which is awesome. You need that to be on track. So there we go. I also found out 03, 04 crash bars are discontinued, so you can only buy 05 plus new, and it's kind of just good to have both. That way if I ever do damage this again, I can use whatever one I can find. And that's pretty much it. The car is solid, good to go, and like I said, this is what I consider to have it be track prepped.